Well, I do enjoy my shore fishing, and one of the best beaches I like to fish are not those giant pebble, ankle breaking type of beaches. Good fishing on them as there is, my poor old feet can't take those much more. I do enjoy fishing off an open sand beach. I fished one that stuck in my mind because you get a totally different species there. It's one called a turbot, flatfish, rare to catch them really off the shoreline. A monumental walk, but boy, it was worth it for both the fishing and the scenery. Well, we're actually down on the mark. Man, it's like an SAS yomp. And wait for this, guys, that's downhill. We've got to go back up yet. The guys were virtually running to get down here, so I take it this is a good mark. There's a big expanse of beautiful clean sand here as well. Now, while walking across it, Craig did actually, I mentioned to him there's no worm cast on this. And he says, no, it's like a finer, say, better quality sand, if you like, but there are small sand eels in it. And apparently you can get small turbot here as well. So one assumes if there's little tiny sand eels living in here, there's some small turbot around as well. That would be the icing on the cake if we get to show you guys shore-caught turbot. Anyway, I've come this side of the rocks. The other guys are set up on the fringe of the rocks. They might get bass, they could get ray, they could get anything. But man alive, does this tide go out here fast. I had to wade out to cast it so shallow. I put the rod in the tripod. By the time I come back, the tripod's 15 or 20 feet from the water. I said, how far does it go out, Craig? He said, another 500 yards. I feel a lot of exercise coming. Anyway, guys, I'm rigged up. I've got a grip at the bottom. I've got one of Tony's rigs. I don't know which one it is, but it's a small hook rig. I'm going to call it the Whacker Nostra. I'm not sure if that's the correct word for it. The wind's up, the cloud's coming over. That might actually help us. I'm going to be using a grip lead, but here I've got a bass rod. It's called a scratch. It's called a super bass, and it throws 3 ounces. Oh dear, I've got 5 on it. But we'll see what happens, won't we? Let's get it in the water. Fingers crossed. Some of these people catch some fish. I may forget one myself. I'm so excited.
Oh, I've been long gone, wanna talk to you. I've been hustling for so long. Oh, and I've been thinking about the past, and it keeps me going on. Oh, and I can't stop, no, I don't stop. It's only I can see. Even if I end up all alone, I know my destiny. My mama told me we all bleed the same sun. Oh, prejudice and pride don't make you change. Just always remember where you come from. 'Cause I know you were born to break the chain. So I'm on my way. Yes, I'm leaving today. Are you riding with me? See, I'm living in that life. But I got a fire that burns so bright, from the back road to the street. I've been long gone for so damn long, so don't tell me that you have to go. Will you still be waiting for me? Tell me, 'cause I gotta know. See, and I can't stop, no, I don't stop. It's only I can see. If I die trying to turn the tide, y'all remember me. See, Mama told me we all bleed the same sun. Oh, prejudice and pride will make you change. Just always remember where you come from. 'Cause I know you were born to make a change.
Well, the guys are walking all their gear back as fast as they can. They're almost running to get their tackle out of the water because this tide is whistling in. And I've walked back 3 times. I've just taken a gamble. They're just wheeling turbot one after the other, all of them. Not big fish, but good fun fish to catch, nice little fish. I've walked back so far, you should see how much line. One of the spools is nearly out. Must mean I'm fishing over 200 yards out. I've got one more walk back and then I'll be totally spooled out of line. I just hope that when I retrieve it all, there could be lucky something on the end and flat. Turbot would be nice.
This is the 4th turbot, still no rays, but we'll try again in a minute.
Where did you get that one on, Paul?
Sand eels.
And what sort of rig?
2-up flapper on this one.
This is the beach for the turbot, definitely.
It seems to be.
Well, here we go, a bit covered in mud, but little turbot, and you can just see that sand eel, or half a sand eel just poking out from it. So they're all pounding out turbot now. Everybody basically is waiting to see if they can get a ray. Look at the mouth. It extends right out. It is a true predator.
I've been long gone for so damn long, so don't tell me that you have to go. Will you still be waiting for me? Tell me, cause I gotta know. See, and I can't stop, no, I don't stop. It's only I can see. If I die trying to turn the tide, y'all remember me. See, Mama told me we all bleed the same son. Oh, prejudice and pride will make you change. Just always remember where you come from, cause I know you were born to make a change. So I'm on my way. Yes, I'm leaving today. Are you ride with me? Lord, living in the nightlife, but I got a fire that burns so bright from the back road to the street. See, I'm on my way. Yes, I'm leaving today. Are you ride with me? Yes, I'm living in the nightlife, but I got a fire that burns so bright from the back road to the street.
There we go, guys. That's why they call it the secret mark. A double header with a bass and a ray. I mean, does it get any better than that? I'm not surprised I left it out there that long. I'm surprised I didn't fill up with all three. Beautiful bass and a ray.
Well, when I woke up, she was looking at me. She told me I've been cheating on her in her dream. Lord, it wasn't a thing.
I got renewed enthusiasm, and yes indeed, he came up with a ray. Not a big one, but listen, I've walked 45 miles to get this fish in and out, baiting up, casting, get it in, out, wind in, wind out. What a nightmare, but what fishing.
I couldn't stay the same, so I stopped going out on Friday nights. I stopped drinking with the boys. Yeah, everything she asked, I left in the past, just to try to bring her joy. For the record, it can't be understated, all I've been domesticated. She told me.
Here we go, guys, last cast. I've actually fallen in the water up to my waist. I hope everything's working, but I wish I could say it was for this bass. It wasn't, it was for nothing. But I have to say the water was warm, that's the only upside. But that one, half of sandal again. So great days fishing. Getting pushed off now by the tide. Gonna get this one back, and I've got to get home for a change of clothing. Hope you've enjoyed that programme.
She wasn't happy and she wanted out. Everything about the man she once loved, long gone, baby, and it's all because I stopped going out on Friday nights. I stopped drinking with the boys. Everything she asked, I left in the past just to try to bring her joy. For the record, it can't be understated. Lord, I've been domesticated. Lord, I've been domesticated. All I do is stay at home all damn day.
A long walk, but well worth it, I think you'll agree. Now, what about catching fish out of a bottle? It's one of the oldest methods you could get. Bait or eating, whatever you want, you can catch fish this way using a bottle. Now, there's nothing new in fishing, or so they say. And you know what? I've been doing it long enough to know it's probably true. A lot of people, fishermen before us, have been catching fish long before we even thought of catching them. They've devised all manner of means of trying to catch them, and also how to collect their bait. Now, one way you can collect your bait is with what's called a small fish or minnow trap. Over here in the UK, it's called a minnow trap. But the actual funnel technique was used thousands of years ago using reeds and bamboo stems in a cone shape. The important thing is the cone shape for the entrance, because fish can't come back out. This was Begin Fishing with Uncle Bill. Well, let me tell you, Uncle Bill was no mug. There is minnows, a small bait fish trap made out of a wine bottle. And they put bread in there, cork in there, and knock the hole out the bottom. Okay, so that shows you that's the old trap. And it's the same cone effect coming in here as they make with a weaved or woven bamboo or whatever they use, sticks, you know, a fish trap from thousands of years ago. Now here is an even older book from the Badminton Library of Cholmondeley, H. Cholmondeley Pennell or Pennell. Now, here is a book, look at this one. Still got the little greaseproof sheet there covering these, I guess, like etchings. Beautiful, fantastic. 1889, if you can see that. 1889, and the Pennell also comes from, I believe, the Pennell hook. I think that's where it came from, 2 hooks. But look here, my goodness me, a folding minnow trap. So there you go, 1898. But I can do better than that, folks. I can do better than 1898 from my own library. Look at the adverts in this one. I mean, I love looking at all these old adverts. 2p. 2p, look at it. The Modern Angler by the Otter. And here we go. There is the classic minnow trap, but it's got a jar. It looks like a preserve jar to me, with a cap on the end, probably a cork one. I would imagine they were cork then, and glass tied to a string for a support. You put your bait inside, and it's got another additional sort of bait in the current there, which is like a teaser or a lure or something. Maybe it's a load of worms in there, threaded. I think that one might be even older, and it's a load of worms that's threaded in there, if you can see that. And the fish enter through there, and look at some of these old lures there. I mean, I just love looking at them. And even better, 1898. So these old books show you a lot of information that, in fact, they were catching fish in minnow traps years and years and years ago. So while a lot of us don't read a lot of books now, we are missing out on things, because there's information in here, even down to, look, a patented Alfred Clifford's patent eel trap. So back then in 1898, they were well into trapping, and we're going to be into trapping as well. Let's get out in the garage. I'm going to show you how to make your own fish trap from bottles. Now, one of the early ways of doing it was with a bottle. That's right, a glass bottle. Now, much easier to use just a clear plastic lemonade bottle. Now, some people say, I like the clear bottle, that the water sort of, you know, the fish can't see through it. They can see it, of course they can see it. Others say I actually like the wine bottle effect. I'm sure they like the wine. The wine bottle effect is it's green and it blends in with the bottom. Sort of makes sense. Now for wine, to let it settle, as I understand it, the sediment, they put this little bulbous bit in the bottom there. So what you do is, the wife's thrown the cap away on this one, but what you can do is put a piece of tape over. This is the way I do it. Do not put them in a vise to tap that bottom out. Don't waste your time trying to drill them. You want to tap it out. I use a centre punch, but what I'm going to do, because I want something that sort of cushions it, so I'm going to push it into the soil, Now, if I push it into the soil and I get my centre punch here and I just tap the hole in there so the fish can go in there, the glass is going to go through there, the broken glass, come out the end and be in the grass or earth that I put it in. So I don't want that, so I just put a piece of tape over there, or indeed screw the cap on. Now this was a particularly fine Merlot, Cabernet, Sauvignon. That makes me sound really French. It makes me sound so sexy. I can make it sound better actually. I need more of a nasal attachment, like this. And here you have the bottle that you can use. It is a Merlot, Cabernet, Sauvignon. That sounds even better. Makes me sound more French. Ow! So there we are. I'm going to take this out, put it in the earth, pop the hole in there, and I'm going to show you how to do it with a plastic bottle. Let's get this one outside. Well, that's a wine bottle already done, and of course I needed help to get rid of the contents, and my wife volunteered immediately. So we both disposed of the contents in order to push forward the boundaries of filming, you understand. That's why we did this, just to get the empty bottle. Didn't enjoy it at all. Okay, same shape. It's very slight depression in the bottom, but not enough really. So what I'm going to do is get rid of any rubbish off the outside, packaging, just peel that off so it is nice and clear. And then all I'm going to do is cut just here, it's a standard way of making a fish trap. Don't skew your hands, please, Graeme, get through. Once you get that first little nip, that first scissors, I'm through. Run around the edge, nice and straight, like this, because we're going to turn it. Cut that neatly. We're going to turn it inside out. Now that's clever, obviously with a stopper off. So the fish are going to go in through this cone end, into here, and they'll be in this back chamber where the bread and the bait is, but they can't get back out because they're sort of kind of dumb, aren't they? They could get back out if they were intelligent enough to realise that's the hole that they came through and they've got to come up and go back through it. Luckily for us, they're fairly dumb, they don't realise that. To make this one, all you do, turn it inside, and just push that right inside there. I'm going to push it so I get it nice and neat. That's all it, get in there. Now, that is the same principle as the wine bottle with that depression in there, which is, as I understand, to catch the sediment in wine. Never drain the last pieces out of with drinking wine. Apparently that's where you get the bits and pieces of sediment. So they tell me. Nobody told my wife. It's drained. It all goes down. There we go. So that one's already, you don't need to tape it, it's jammed in on the ridges. I'm going to put a piece of fishing line around there. I'm going to obviously sprinkle some bread in there, a piece of fishing line. I'm going to put a weight there, because what I'm going to put this is a little bit of movement of the water. This will be a glass one, that will fill up under its own weight, but always put, if you're putting in slightly deeper water, just a little piece of fishing line, and you can peg it on the grass with a stick, come back and pick it up later. Okay, let's get these in the water, get them baited, get them set. Let's get trapping. Well, there we go, guys. I've got one that I've weighted with the stone, and inside there, if you can see those, there's some small fish. Let's tip them out. It shows you that it does work. We'll shoot them out there. There you go, minnows. One fat one, two small ones. Make good live baits, good dead baits. And if you get bigger ones, you can eat them. Shows you the system works. And there's the bottle. Suddenly, you've broken your fishing line. You can't stick it back together, can you? No, you need a good fishing knot. Here's the fishing knot for joining two pieces of fishing line together, and hopefully you can then stay attached to the fish. The next one is, should you have a breakage and you want to tie two pieces of line together. So, this is one length of line, there's the other. Put a loop in one. There we go. Let's get that in the centre of the lens. Put a loop in one and take the tag line through the other side. Okay, hopefully you'll be able to see this, just like that. To see it there. Now I'm going to do the standard blood loop. 5 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I put it back through the loop. Oh, I nearly lost it then. It's pretty difficult to do a 70-pound line, but at least you can see it. Start the loop, a little bit of spit as we know, push it down. So you've got 1/2 of a blood loop there. I'm just going to tug that down a bit for you. Obviously you use an ordinary fishing line, it's much easier. Then this other one is then sliding up and down. As you can see, it moves up and down. So now I'm going to do exactly the same with the opposite end of the line. 3, 4, 5. Tag ends here. It's going back through that loop. Through there. A little bit of spit. Tricky to do in front of the camera with thick line, but we're getting there. Pull it down. I've got it tied to a fish hook there. Get my nail on it. Give it a little tug. There we go, pulls it down nice and tight, and they both butt up against each other. But I'm still going to give it a major bit of pulling so it goes right down on top of each other. You can feel it move, this knot. Now this one leaves the tag ends sticking up perpendicular to the line. I don't really like that. So I'm going to snip them, but I'm also going to try and melt that back a bit to make a little blob on the end so they can't pull through. Okay, now what I suggest you do, if you've not done this before, just take a tag end piece of nylon, put the lighter down and just watch the end of it. Just dab it against the flame. Can you see it? There, and you can put a bit of spit on it, like that. Say burn your finger. It just leaves a little tag end there. So we're gonna give it a go. So I'm going to snip off about that much. That much. Now, will you see this or not? I'll try and hold it to the camera so you can without setting my finger alight. Just watch that tag end gradually go back. Wet your finger, push it. Okay. There we go. Wet your finger, dab it, otherwise it's going to stick to you. Now that makes a much smoother knot there. And that's what you do, just with the lighter, just slowly, don't melt the line here. So that's a double blood knot, and that's designed to join two pieces of line if you have a breakage. You always need a good knot. You can never have too many knots. Now, how about a little bit of night fishing for a fish with teeth like a vampire, with eyes that can see totally in the dark? Oh, well, don't ask me. I didn't even catch any. Ask Mike. He had a blinder of a session. Okay guys, now these are the bobbins I'm going to be using. They told us that they can be really finicky, these and they can be very touchy, that's why we want small baits. But I'm just using a little plastic as the spine. I expect you've seen it in our other carp films. Very, very light, but to actually take a bit more tension on it, I've put on there a BB shot. Don't crunch your teeth on it, you know, squeeze it on there. It's a visit to the dentist. Of course we all do that. Why not use a pair of forceps to just pinch that shot on there? And listen, if it's really windy, you can actually use a heavier shot. And all you do to put it on the line, open it up, pop it over the line, hangs there, slides up and down, no problems. But when you hook a fish, hook the fish first, and while it's under tension, put your fingers in there, just open it out, spring it off, put it in your pocket. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is just using that single hook and these very small roach like this. You can see that one. I'm just going to hook it through the bottom jaw, out the top of the head, trying to get it through the skull. And then, I'm quite sure they'd eat that, but all the locals and the bailiffs tell me cut it in half about there.
And you've got all the juices flowing
You've
from
got the
that
juices
bit
coming out of that.
then. Don't throw your tail away, by the way, we'll be using that.
Keep that for the next PVA bag.
And then that's our hook bait, and then what we're going to do is we've chopped up our trusty sprats here. We've chopped them up. We'll put them in the PVA tube. I'm just going to tie that off there, like so. Just a little overhand knot. That's all it's going to be. Tied off and then snipped
Above the knot.
above the knot.
Hook it.
Hook it through the back end there, and there we go.
All ready to cast out.
Get that out as quick as possible.
Now guys, with zander fishing, indeed any fishing, you know, if you do night barbel fishing, years ago we just had a little hand torch, held it in our teeth. Nowadays, wow, rock on, it's all mod cons. You can get these little lamps, little headlights that are really cheap actually, you know, £10, £15. Rechargeable batteries or ordinary batteries, you're going to need them at some stage. Obviously, some anglers don't like to use them, they think it frightens a fish, but you know, we're at a commercial fishery. Obviously, they come on like this, so you can have an adjustment up and down. That's fine for what you're looking at, but you can also put the red across there, like they do in the army style, and you can tilt it down, and you've got enough light there just to bait up and cast out. So that's all you need. And in most of the time, you're going to leave it on red, and you don't have to flash it all over water. Just a little tip for you.
First one of the night. Not a massive one, but still fairly decent size. You can see that big eye on there. That nocturnal, and those vampire-like teeth at the front.
So that bag worked, that different bag?
Yeah, the bag definitely worked. Really quiet bite though, it wasn't aggressive.
Yeah.
But could it be feeding time? They do tend to feed really fast over here, within kind of half an hour feeding spell, so let's get this one back and hopefully get some more.
And no problem with that barbel rod?
Not at all, really nice actually, yeah, nice bend in the rod.
Did show?
Awesome. Beautiful fish. Let him recover a bit, he might want to shoot off, but his gills are going, so...
Camouflage in the water too.
And off he goes.
God, I can see his eye in the water there.
Oh, look at that, better on these rods, definitely. Definitely better on these rods. I've got the reel on back one now, put it on the drag. There we go. And shows that
Zander?
PVA, yeah.
So the PVA worked?
Shows the PVA works. And this is obviously feeding time. We're at 5:30, and I know it's a short feeding spell, so
Good.
we'll get this one
capitalise
in
on it.
and get the bait out as soon as possible.
Oh, look at him go on that rod. Not that you can see it in the dark. I can see it, guys. Don't
Yeah.
worry. It's bent.
Oh, this one's definitely got
It's a better one.
a lot of energy in it. I think this.
Yeah,
this
I think this is nice. It could be.
PB.
I think we might be in close to PB here.
Clipping in PB. It's got a belly on it. Oh,
Yeah, but
I'm
a gut on that,
I'm
it's
gonna
a
weigh
six.
that one, I think. Oh, that's a nice fish. Watch out. £7.7.
7.7. That'll do
That's a
nicely.
PB.
Let's have a look at the belly on that one.
Well, there we go. £7, 7 ounces of totally awesome predator.
That is a nice one. And
That
you
is
can,
awesome.
as you say, see the fangs on that one.
Yeah, look at it. What a fish. Good belly on that. That's been feeding on those PVA bags. We've been.
That's got half a pound of sprats in his stomach.
Yeah. What a fish. Beauty. We'll get it back.
Still.
Get the rod straight
Still
out.
for that.
And then on to the next one.
What is happening with your swim tonight? Oh, it's a nice fish, is it? Is it a pike? No, it's a
big
Zed.
zander. Big zander. Big zander. Get that there. That is a biggest. Could be another PB on the night.
You can't get two PBs. I can't even speak.
A BBP.
I can't even speak properly.
This is big. It's the rod's holding.
Well, it's the old barbel rod. Just take your time. Oh, it's a nice fish.
This is a PB.
Take your time with it.
Oh my days. This is a big fish.
There he is, folks.
Look at the head on it.
Don't ping off. Shaking his head. He's coming. He's coming. Look at that gold of his eye. Was it red? I don't even know what colour it is. No, he's about 8.
Oh, that could be a PB.
I think it could be a PB.
He's getting weighed. Put it that way.
Yeah,
Look at the eye.
Could be a PB.
Look at the eye on that fish. Let's get him out. He's had. Oh, I can see some scratches on him. He's been in the wars, but
Well, maybe another Zander's after him.
God, let's get this weighed. Could they?
Jamie, oh
Hey, I know, I'm on fire. I was just saying we've had the Predator Grand Slam.
You have?
I've had a pike today, I've had loads of perch, and now I've had a zander.
Yeah.
PB zander. Let's go and get them on the mat.
No, that's 8 plus.
That's
8
heavier.
off.
That's heavier.
That's a nice one. That's a nice one.
Yeah, that's a longer fish as well. There we go. Hooks out. Let's have a look. I'm going to weigh this actually. That's way worthy.
A way good fish.
That is way worthy, man. That's a nice zander. Yeah, I reckon he might.
I reckon he's 8.
7.7 was the last one.
Could be 7.7. I think it's 8. You've already zeroed the scale, so you're okay on that.
Yeah.
I reckon you're 8.5 then, nearly.
No, I don't know. He's a long fish though. He is a long one.
It's like you're dialing Mum up to tell her we'll be late for dinner.
Yeah.
We will be late for dinner.
Certainly will at this rate. Can't see on my
Let me come round. A bit of light. That's over 8, I'm sure.
8.3.
Never PB.
£8.3.
Well done.
Holy moly. That is. Oh, look at the eye on that fella.
Yeah, you can actually see it there.
Let's get this up and have a look at him.
You can see it's sort of like a milkiness in their eye.
Oh man, look, he's broad across the back. But that is one
Totally awesome.
big zander. What a
Good
beauty.
man.
What did I say, £8?
I don't know what it was, 8 something.
Hold on,
Graeme again.
8, I can't remember that. I'll
8,
see
6, we do them again.
Yeah, that's a beauty. That's definitely got some weight to it. Right, we'll slip this one back and I'm getting that bait straight out there.
Well, I hope there's a few clips there that might give you a few tips and actually passed a bit of time for you in the lockdown. Thanks for watching the TA Fishing Show. Keep watching us. I'm going to try and find some more. Don't forget, if you don't watch these clips, they're gone for good. They're going off the hard drive. You know, there might be 1 or 2 tips in there even I forgot. Trust me, I've picked some up and thought, oh, I haven't used that one for a while. I must give that a try. So I'm clearing everything off. All going to be deleted. So fingers crossed, before I completely delete everything, I'll find 1 or 2 more films for you guys. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button, both channels, TA Fishing and TA Outdoors. We'll see you in the next film.